Hi students, welcome to my channel. Today I am discussing about the continuation of amino acids. Already last class I explained about the types of amino acids, its classification, essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids, acidic and basic and neutral amino acids. So in that essential amino acids are 10. Second one non-essential amino acids also 10. In this total 20, these are protein formation amino acid. Nearly 700 non-protein formation amino acids also identified, but these are very important amino acids. In these 20 amino acids, again classification: acidic amino acids, basic amino acids, and neutral amino acids. These are 2, these are 3, these are total, this is 15. And in these amino acids, one of the very important part, except glycine, remaining all chiral, remaining all amino acids except glycine, remaining all amino acids are chiral amino acids. Because glycine formula we know that actually the general structure of amino acid is R C H NH2 COOH. Here the R group is H for glycine. Then you will get here H CH NH2 COOH. So we know that chiral carbon at chiral carbon all groups should be different, but here hydrons are same. All four groups are different or atoms are different. That is called chiral. But here the both hydrons are same. That's what is called achiral carbon. Achiral carbon. Therefore, it will not optically active. Remaining all optically active. In that, last class already given one more explanation. All naturally occurring amino acids are LCs. If you observe here COOH and here this alkyl group, here NH2 and here should be H. This is general formula respect to represented. So generally naturally occurring all amino acids are L series, and next one, those are having L series configuration, there are all are R configuration. Sorry, all are S configuration. If you observe according to RS nomenclature, this is a chiral carbon. For chiral carbon only we are giving the RS nomenclature. So the first directly bonded here carbon, here also it may be alkyl group, that is also carbon, here nitrogen, here hydrogen. Then highest atomic number will get the first priority, then it is the first priority. Next here it is the second priority, this will be the third priority, this will be the fourth priority. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3. This is clockwise direction. This is clockwise direction. Clockwise direction mean R, anti-clockwise direction mean S. But in Fisher projection, the fourth priority group on horizontal line, the configuration should be reversed. That's why this fourth priority group on horizontal line, R will convert into S, S will convert into R. So now all out of 20 amino acids except one, that is cysteine. Cysteine having R configuration, remaining all having S configuration. This is also one of the very important question for competitive exam. So which of the following amino acid having the R configuration? This is a time saving process in competitive exam. We can't do all this 1, 2, 3 priority group and clockwise, anti-clockwise, Fisher projection. That's why I am giving now a very important hint for remembering purpose, except cysteine, that is having sulfur, it means sulfhydryl group, SH group. If you give priority based on that, this is only get the R configuration, and remaining all are getting the S configuration. This is one of the most important remembering topic. And the next one, these amino acids are combined to form a peptide chain or peptide bond. This peptide bond, if number of amino acids are more, that is called polypeptide. That polypeptides are sometimes is called proteins. It depends upon its molecular weight. So now I am discussing about the proteins, protein structures. In this protein structure, amino acids formed by amino acids are combined to form a long chain polypeptide. The long chain polypeptides are called proteins. Generally, these proteins having alpha amino acids. Alpha amino acids. So whatever we discuss, all 20 amino acids are alpha amino acids. That's why these are called the protein amino acids. And some of the 700 non-protein amino acids mean they are not formed proteins. These only form protein. That's why these are called protein amino acids. And next one, what is a peptide bond? First we will discuss about the peptide bond. Peptide bond is the amide bond which links the amino acids. For example, we know that acid plus amine combine to form RC double bond O and OH plus H and R. This is amine. This is a carboxylic acid. This carboxylic acid and amine, here water molecule loss minus H2O, R, C double bond O, NH, R. This bond is known as amide bond. In organic chemistry, simply it is called amide bond. But when amino acids are combined to form a amide bond, that is called peptide bond. So the amide bond which links the amino acids, that is called peptide bond. This peptide bond with amino acid we discuss. For example, we know that glycine, valine and alanine. Otherwise, with dipeptide only you write first because the simplest example. We know the glycine structure. What is the glycine structure? Here only I reprinted somewhere. I think remove that is NH2 CH2 C double bond O OH plus this is NH H separately I am writing to lose the water molecule, and next CH CH3 and C double bond O OH. This is alanine. Here water molecule loss. Then we will get here NH2 and CH2 C double bond O NH CH CH3 C double bond O OH. But keep in mind, when you are writing a peptide chain, NH2 group should be left hand side, COH group should be right hand side. This is called N terminal amino acid, and this is called C terminal amino acid, and this bond is known as peptide bond. The amide bond is known as peptide bond. Like this, to form one amide bond or peptide bond, how many amino acids are linked together? 2. That is called dipeptide. This is called dipeptide. If tripeptide is there, in nowadays they are asking in the competitive exam a dipeptide having how many amino acids. So dipeptide means 2 amino acids. Okay. Sorry, peptide bond means dipeptide means 2 amino acids but 1 peptide bond. Amino acids are 2 but peptide bond equal to 1. This is for dipeptide. If tripeptide, then amino acids are 3 amino acids, peptide bond is equal to 2. If tetrapeptide, that is 4 amino acids, peptide bond is 3. It means 1 less from this tetra. That is, if pentapeptide, then it having 5 amino acids and peptide bond is 4. If hexa, then that is 6 amino acids and 5 peptide bond. These are very very important. And how to give this name for this peptide bond? This is glycine part, that's what is known as glycine and alanine. These are separate name I represented here. But in peptide bond linkage, how to write? INE drop. This one, INE drop. And we can write here glycine. YL should be add and there should be continuation alanine. Last amino acid name should be as it is, and the first one amino acid name should be INE removed and we have to add YL. For example here, this is glycine, valine and alanine, like this is given. Because already I told you that amino acids are represented with the 3-letter symbol or 1-letter symbol. If for this peptide, so this is 3 amino acids, and how many peptide bonds are there? 2 peptide bonds are. Its name we can give like this: glycyl valyl alanine. It means in this valine also INE dropped and added YL. Keep in mind always when you are drawing the peptide bond, left side should be N terminal, right side should be C terminal. Amino acid should be required. All are having amine group, all are having COH. When you are representing, that should be NH2 left side and COH should be right side. So that is a peptide bond. So up to hexapeptide, like this we studied. More than 10 amino acids, that is called polypeptide. A peptide linkage with the 10 or more than 10 amino acids, that is called polypeptide. In that polypeptide, those are having molecular weight nearly 1000 unified mass. So not 1000, 10,000. So polypeptide mean what is that? Polypeptide. It having greater than 10 amino acids, that is called polypeptide. If this polypeptide chain having molecular mass, molecular weight nearly 10,000 unified mass, that is called protein. But there is no sharp identification between polypeptide and protein, because one of the best example is insulin. Insulin is one of the hormone, because some hormones also proteins. In this insulin, it metabolizes the glucose in our body. So now insulin having only 51 amino acids, but already we discussed here for 51 amino acid molecular weight will not be up to 10,000. And in some books are given more than 100 amino acids in a polypeptide chain, that is called protein. But here how many are there? 51 amino acids are there. In this, generally I am referring a simple chain. This is one chain, this is second chain. One having the 21 amino acids, another having the 30 amino acids. And in between the cysteine, so number of amino acids will be there like this. A, B, C, D like this. So now here for a cysteine consider, here also one cysteine consider. In between cysteine, one disulfide linkage is formed, and in between here also cysteine consider, here also disulfide linkage is formed, and here consider cysteine, here also consider cysteine. In between this sulfur linkage, that is called disulfide linkage. Totally how many disulfide linkage? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Total 3 disulfide linkages are present. 3 disulfide linkages present in insulin. But sometimes there is a question they may ask, how many disulfide linkage within the chain? In this within the chain, how many are there? 1. In between the two chain, how many are there? 2. So this is 1 plus 2. This one is in within the chain, and this remaining 2 are in between the chain. So totally 3 disulfide linkage are present, and it having a small amount of zinc element also. This question also one time asked in the competitive exam. Which element is present in the insulin? That is zinc. Most important concept. And next, already we know very clearly about the polypeptide. Mean what is that? About 100 amino acids are more than that 100 amino acids and 10,000 unified mass molecular weight. They are called proteins. These proteins are again, and one more thing you have to remember, one of the dipeptide, this is one of the artificial sweetener, that is aspartame. This aspartame also given one of the example in artificial sweetener in chemistry in everyday life. That time they may ask in that chapter, the aspartame is an artificial sweetener. In that, how many peptide bonds are there? Only one peptide bond. And what are the amino acids it having? Mean one is aspartic acid and phenylalanine. So that linkage also we have to observe how they will ask the linking question from chapter to chapter. Next one, types of proteins. In that, fibrous proteins are there. Another is globular protein. Fibrous proteins are having parallel chain. These parallel chain linked with the maybe disulfide linkage or hydrogen bond or any other interaction. So due to this type of parallel interaction between this polypeptide chain, it look like the rod type or sheet type. Therefore, and these are like a bundles of polypeptides. When these are like a rod or sheet or bundles of this polypeptide chain, these are insoluble in water. Like a thread type, these are insoluble in water. Example for this fibrous protein, alpha keratin. Alpha keratin, these are having this protein present in hair, nail, and some other example in, that is myosin. These are the example for fibrous protein. Next, globular protein. These polypeptide chains are coiled around and gives a spherical shape. For example, like this, coiled around it and gives a spherical shape. When these are coiled or helix type structure, these are project their functional group to the outside and form hydrogen bond with the other molecule like water. That's why these are soluble in water. These are soluble in water. What are the example for globular protein? Globular protein example is, one is myoglobin, next hemoglobin, albumin, next insulin. These are the example they are asking in competitive. You have to remember. So I given about a simple explanation about the polypeptide chain. What is a polypeptide chain or what is a peptide bond? Like this I given. But other than this, one of the most important part is isoelectric point. What is the isoelectric point? Isoelectric point is the pH at which that amino acid having net charge is 0. Simply it is called the pH at which amino acids having 0 charge. Otherwise, it do not migrate toward the any one of the anode or cathode. Because there is no charge, that's why it do not move toward the any one of the side anode or cathode. Simple, the pH at which there is no net charge on amino acids. That is called isoelectric point. Isoelectric point denoted with the Pi. So simply I am writing the definition. The pH at which no net charge on amino acid in aqueous solution. That is called isoelectric point. Isoelectric point. It means that is exists in Zwitterian form. Last class I have already given. So Zwitterian. What is the Zwitterian? NH3 plus and R here COO minus. So a dipolar ion having positive and negative charge. This is electrically neutral, but it having charge. Electrically neutral means positive is neutral with the negative or negative is neutral with the positive. Generally, neutral means there is no charge we are considering here. Here just mutually cancels. This is dipolar ion, but it is electrically neutral. So net charge is, we have to consider is 0. So at this moment it will not move toward any one of the electrode side. That's why that is called isoelectric point. So this isoelectric point is very important for the amino acids. So how to, we have to calculate this isoelectric point. Generally isoelectric point is average of pKa of 1 plus pKa of 2. This average of pKa1 and pKa2. That is, it is applicable for nearly 13 amino acids. This formula applicable for nearly 13 amino acids which are having this alkyl group is neutral. It means there is no polar groups. Then this formula is applicable for remaining, that is higher concept. I hope this is enough for the up to NEET level, JEE mains level, advanced level. It may be asked based on the remaining how many 7 amino acids. That formula is depends upon their pK, pK2 values. This is a isoelectric point. How to calculate? For example, I will give one amino acid here, CH, or this R group may be considered CH2 alanine only considered, no problem, and COO minus, and this is NH3 plus. I am not remembering any values, just I am giving some simple any other number. For now, this 3.6 is pK value, and its value is 4. Otherwise, we consider nearly 2.7. This is a pK1. This is a pK2. Then what is the isoelectric point? This is not the exact values according to the textbook. Just I given for understanding purpose only. That's why Pi is equal to, one is pK1 2.7 plus 3.6 by 2. Calculate and get the answer. So like this we will calculate for the isoelectric point. Based on this isoelectric point, we can separate the amino acid from the protein by using electrophoresis. This is also one of the important word. How would you separate the amino acids? Then that is one of the method, electrophoresis. And keep in mind, generally we know that acidic amino acids, basic amino acids, and neutral amino acids. Acidic amino acids are only 2. In that, one is aspartic acid, another is glutamic acid. Aspartic acid having nearly 2.8, that is isoelectric point. It having 3.2 isoelectric point. Basic amino acids are having, one is histidine, another is lysine, another is arginine. So histidine having nearly 7.6 and this lysine having 9.3 or 4, this having 10.6. Then observe, based on this isoelectric point also you can decide the acidic and basic nature. Lower the Pi, isoelectric point, that is stronger acid, higher the Pi, that is a weaker acid. Here also in basic nature, higher the Pi, that is a more basic, lower the Pi, that is a less basic. Neutral amino acids, these are number of order, that's why the range I will give nearly 5 to 6.3, that is a isoelectric point range of neutral amino acids. And keep in mind, at Zwitterian form, the solubility of amino acid is very less, otherwise that is called at Pi. At isoelectric point, solubility is very less. Above and below this, for example, above value is below value. Here, solubility will be increased, but at Pi, solubility is very less because it is exists in the form of salt. Okay, and these are the clear information about the Pi isoelectric point. I hope I did not seen in your textbook, but they are asking a question about the isoelectric point. Thank you very much.